need to. Are you? Your volume is a little quiet. Are you in a different spot right now?
I can turn it up. No, my
Oh.
volume is not.
Well, wait. When you got closer, it was good. Let's try it one more time.
I mean, I might be able to turn up my gain a little because I did close this door behind me and then close the space a little.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and talk again.
Testing 1, 2, 3. How's that?
You're good. I just I need to come down just a little bit. I think I'm a little loud. I just want to make sure we're all kind of hitting the same spots. Looks like we're pretty good though right now. Okay, Linda, go ahead and talk again.
Okay, I am upset right now because one of my friends is streaming. Baba is you, and I love watching her do that, but she's doing it while I'm trying to do something.
No. All right, I'm gonna test the sound of stuff.
Crew team, assemble!
Geek Grills Grapevine.
I think that volume needs to come up a little bit, huh?
I don't know. It sounded fine to me.
Yeah, you guys hear it differently.
Yeah, but it was coming through.
I like how I asked you that question.
Different, so I'm gonna say probably.
I was just watching the bar, and it's funny because I said it, and then I was like, "You guys actually have no idea what it sounds like because you guys are hearing a completely different connection to it."
Yep.
Great. All right. Let's go to Geek Grills. Why is it showing Mike? Why am I getting Mike still? There we go. Okay, I'm not getting Mike still. Okay.
I'm going to share to the Facebook and the Twitter.
Whatever you're typing into. Oh no, I've got the CC on again. God damn it. Okay. I thought somebody was typing in Skype because that's been doing a thing lately. What am I looking for? Discord. Sorry guys, hold on a second. This dog is licking my pants right now. Like my hip.
Ooh.
At least he's not murdering the piggy anymore.
That's true. That is true. Net. Where's the stream shilling crap? So help me if you pee right there.
I want that so bad. I'm trying to talk Rob into recording, like, just the bass line for I'm the One That's Cool. Because I think it would be really nice, like, I plug in bumper to the topic introduction coming in behind us.
Okay, I posted in all the places. I'm twittering, and then we should be good. I'm going to try this one more time.
I tweeted from
Club
Grills
hopes you have enjoyed this
and
program.
shared to our Facebook already.
Okay, I'm pretty sure everybody is on the same level now. All right, Linda, one more time. Sorry.
Alrighty, testing the mic one more time. Trying to see if we're all there. Yes?
Yes. Ember,
Yay.
one more time.
I am testing the things as well.
All right, it looks
While
like we're
I look
all...
at the notes so that I'm facing the right direction.
I think we're all kind of at the same level now, I think. Why am I still coming through kind of loud? Okay, I think we are there. Maybe? Hello. Okay, all right, good. I think we're in all right, we're all in the same place. As long as I don't get too excited, and then we'll be okay. Oh, shit.
Damn it. Twitch
I need to put stuff in here. Monica's good for Tuesday. I'm gonna make the show notes, just so I can send them to her too, because I got her email and everything.
All right.
All right.
Oh my God. Yeah, movie for real this time. For God's sake.
I've been trying to go see Us. I just want to go see that friggin' movie.
Yeah, well, Rob planned this little date night and we drove to another town to see Shazam and it wasn't out yet. So,
No.
oops.
Good old, give it the good old whoops-a-doodle there. All right, I'm going to try to even myself out so that I'm kind of in the same frame as you guys are. I'm obsessing right now. I also would like to note that the cat litter box behind me does not have cat litter in it. It just is in the living room because I'm putting stuff in it and I'm organizing my life. I don't want people to think that I just live in a world where cat litter is in my living room. Just because it was over there and somebody asked about it last time and I'm like, I don't know. It's just there. All right. I am good. If you're good, we're all good. The neighborhood's good.
Yep, I'm double.
Oh yeah, I know, Joe. I'm always live for real. I'm sorry. I just totally gave his real name, internet name, person, thing.
What? Okay.
Somebody was talking in chat, and I responded to them with their first name instead of their internet name because there's somebody that I know in person. So I was like, oh, I'm an asshole. I am ready to go. If y'all are ready to go, is my video coming through better for you guys now?
Looks fine.
Yep.
Okay. Do I look yellow? I feel like I look kind of yellow and weird.
I found the weirdness with mine. It was Skype had automatically enabled the blur my background.
Don't blur my background. It's my background.
I mean, it was fun, but
I think that's a little bit better. I feel like I look a little bit more normal now. I'm still pink, but that's just because I'm pale and pink. But I think it looks a little better. All right, rock on.
If I move my hair.
I know, I need better lighting in here. We're getting there. We're working on it. Also, look, we have a chat box and everything. Kids, look at all this craziness happening right now.
Everything's so purple.
I know. So what happened was last time we did the show, don't worry, we're getting started soon, kids. But we did the show and Reverend Puck was like, hey, send me your assets. I just have a wild hair right now. And I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm going to make some overlays. And then he just went and made this. And then today I was setting it up this morning and I'm like, oh shit, it's not fully transparent. I'm like, Puck, it's not transparent. and he's like, hold on 1 second, easy fix, and then send it right back to me. And I'm like, oh God, you're such a hero. Awesome. I love our communities of hey, I can nerd. Hey, we're all wearing glasses today.
Appropriate to the topic, I think.
Yeah, it is actually kind of funny. I'm also wearing my
wait, let me get some tape.
My mouthy shirt. All right, I'm good. If you're good, if the plan is good, we're good.
Good.
All right. I don't have my timer. Of course I don't have my timer.
I occasionally wear contacts.
I most of the time wear contacts.
I wear contacts for LARPing now because I don't want. I have a bad habit of getting hit in the face with boffers, and so it's like I don't want my glasses to get broke.
Yeah, good use.
I did have a demon in my eye for a couple months. That was the worst.
I got a stigmata in my eye too one time. Holy crap, that was bad.
No, I had a retinal detachment when I was 21 in my right eye, and I had to have a process done, and so my entire eyeball was red except for the brown part and the pupil, of course, because that's just what happens when you traumatize your eyeball. It's part of a medical procedure, of course, and so we referred to it as the demon eye for a long time.
We called mine stigmata. I had a bout of arthritis in my eye.
God, your autoimmune chaos is so crazy.
Yeah. And actually, that was the event that finally got me a diagnosis that I had autoimmune shit.
I've got a demon in my eye. I can't do it as well as I used to. But no, I used to get real crazy and be real loud. Oh wait, I still am that way. Yay. All right, I'm going to actually push the button now-ish, I think, for real.
Okay.
I put my stream deck really far away on accident. That's okay. I'm gonna not like lean over my desk to get it next time. All right, I'm gonna give some air.
Games, gear, grills. Welcome to the Geek Grills podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 129 of Geek Grills. The Geek Grills podcast is supported primarily by our patrons. You can become a patron at patreon.com/grills. So I am the Jen, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts as normal, September, also known as 9 of 12,
Hello, hello, hello.
and Linda, also known as True Noob.
Hello.
I said like as always, and then I realized we had like so much craziness where it was like 2 people, 3 people, 2 people. That this is like 3 weeks in a row, I think, where
So you're always joined by a co-host, right?
That's
we haven't
true.
done them alone.
That's true. We haven't done a solo adventure. Oh no, I did. Didn't I do one with Jackie one time, where it was just me and Jackie? I think I did one time. We brought
still had the
Jackie in,
co-host.
but I still had a co-host, and she is an honorary grill friend, so I think that still counts. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice to actually be a little bit back in the swing of things, as it were. I am happy to hear what exciting things you guys have been up to this week. So yeah, Linda, take it away.
Well, I have been working on my Crochet My Cosplay, which for those of you who have joined us live, I have behind me here. The top of Pink Diamond is done. I just need to add a little bit of... Thank you. I need to add a little bit of elastic to the front so it doesn't gap open, because I don't want that to gap right there. And then I'll be starting on the bottom part, which is a weird short/skirt thing.
Interesting.
That's going to be entertaining. It's more Frankenstein patterns, so off we go.
Yeah.
I think it
And
looks
then-
great.
Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how it came out. Like, I started doing just, like, the top of it, and I was like, this tube top doesn't look real good. And then, like, I added the sleeves, and I was like, okay, but now they're falling down, and then I put in, like, more, like, structure, and it finally started to look right, and I was like, yay, it's a thing! It's becoming a thing! So... I'll be doing more of that. Unfortunately, I realized because I put a lot of making the top of it on Twitch, but I realized as I was like doing like the actual putting together of it that I can't stream that because I am running around my craft room in my skivvies. Because I'm constantly putting it on, adjusting it, taking it off, making the adjustments, putting it back on, and it's just too much work to get dressed in between. So I'm like, I can't stream this right now because I'm in my bra and underwear. So, but the actual like making of the pieces, I'll be able to stream. But that's why I didn't put that on stream on Sunday when I was doing the big like put together part of it, because I was like, I'm gonna get kicked off Twitch.
Yeah. I'm going to get in trouble for this, I think, question mark? Definitely. Definitely something that would get you in trouble.
And other than that, I was just kind of putting the final touches on my new LARP character. So she's all set to go. I've got all my costuming. I've got my little bits and bobs. It's the final touch. Like, I have a book that I was working on full of origami, like, patterns, because that's a thing she's going to do at game, is I'm just going to have some origami paper with me at all times, and I'm going to make little things and leave them around or in people's stuff because she's weird like that. So that was just little finishing touches.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's really cool. I'm really excited about this cosplay. It's really fun. It's such a good character to choose for something like that too. I'm just really interested to see her wig is kind of her hair
Well,
is kind of
I've got I've got two options that I'm thinking of. The first option is that I just buy a pink wig and I
Right.
tease it and I
Make
make
it-
it work,
make
like,
it
the
big.
way it's supposed to. The other option is that I know I could make the wig myself out of yarn.
Huh.
One of those is more intensive than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard call, but it's gonna come together. It's gonna be really awesome. I'm super excited. Yeah, and I look forward to getting a chance to watch some of it on stream, hopefully soon.
Think
September.
if you could like get the stuff that troll doll hair is made of.
Yeah, that hair that
seems
can
like
be
the ideal
teased.
medium for making this.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I think it's basically synthetic yarn
It
that they have
is.
just teased
Unraveled.
and unraveled.
I think you might be right. That actually is like the perfect product. Somebody in the cosplay universe has got to have thought of that because that hair stands up for real.
I'm pretty sure someone's already made a wig, but a pink diamond wig. But seeing how much it costs is going to be kind of the limiter there.
Yeah, wigs can get really, really, really expensive. Well,
I'll see if Arda has a good one because Arda Wigs is pretty good.
Nice. Well, Ember, what has your geeky week been like?
Well, I finally started listening to the America's Next Top Podcaster stuff.
It's actually called
'Cause it was
America's
time to
Next
vote.
Top Podcasting Idol Race Around the Universe Survivor game show. on the
So
internet?
those of you that don't know, Frog Pants Community has been having this like contest, and they have been running through and coaching people, and they have teams, and it's America's Next Top Podcaster. And
It's really cool.
There's a Kickstarter, and I was part of that. I joined in and paid, and I'm going to get a mug at some point.
Yeah.
And it was time to vote, and because we're in the Kickstarter, we get to vote in the final, and I'm like, I haven't listened yet. Shit. So
Yeah.
I'm like, quick listen to the finalists, so it was all the spoilers, just so I could vote, and now I've been going back, and like when I go to the gym, I'm actually listening to the rest of the episodes, and the coaching and the bonus stuff that we got for being part of that. So that's been really interesting, and I've been loving that. And I was happy to hear that they are doing another season.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Absolutely.
there's that. I played some Kingdom Hearts this week, finally,
Yay.
again.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, and I got all like weepy yesterday because there's a Winnie the Pooh. Oh. And then it just is like, why aren't you hot in my heart anymore, Sora? Why did you leave? And I'm like, grow up, Pooh. So that was mushy. On Jen's recommendation, I started watching The Dragon Prince, and Rob and I are loving
It's
that.
amazing.
It's so good.
It's so
it
good.
is. My oven died in the household updates
No.
because all the screw was broken.
No.
It's like, what?
Just
Yeah.
no.
I went, again, and I called, and Bubba came over, and he's yesterday, and
I do like that your handyman is named Bubba, and I know this, and it just
It
cracks
is.
me up every time you say it. It
Yeah,
still is
love
humorous
it.
to me.
yeah. He's got to order a part though, so it's going to take a few days. So yesterday I had the adventure of I promised to make my chicken enchilada casserole for D&D, and my oven was dead, so I did it in my electric roaster.
Huh.
That sounds
It's big enough that I can just like put a rack in it and put the casserole dish in, and it worked like an oven.
Awesome.
So
Who's your
thanks,
favorite?
Mom, again, because it totally like saved Thanksgiving a few years ago when the oven died.
Who's your favorite character from Dragon Prince?
Oh, I can't decide.
I like.
Not yet.
Raina is like my favorite. So when the show started, she comes on the screen, or she's like about to come on the screen, and Khalil's like, "Hey, are you ready to see your new favorite character, Jen's new favorite character?" And I'm like, "You don't know that." And then we like, all right, shut up. This is totally my favorite. You're right. But I really like Claudia. There's so many good characters. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you watched it. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying it. I'm sorry. That's been my like new obsession. I actually kind of want to rewatch it just because it's really good.
Yeah. So reading this week, I'm still on my catch-up train, right? Trying to catch up with the
Right.
comics I've been collecting and not quite caught up yet. So Doomsday Clock I started collecting, and I thought this was appropriate to the subject we're going to cover today, because it does come up in some literature, some stuff I was reading about it. But Doomsday Clock is basically a sequel to The Watchmen. And it's going to be a 12-episode limited series. It's on number 9 right now. I just got up to 6 today because I was behind.
I don't
But I'm getting there.
know.
It's really, really good. The first few, I was like, okay, I was really happy with the homage, with the loyalty to the feel, to a lot of the lore with Watchmen and originally, and I think the artist took great care in that manner. As the DC crossover that's happening in it is ramping up, I'm having some mixed feelings.
I have so many mixed feelings. I didn't even know about this. Watchmen is like one of my favorites, and that's really weird.
It's
Weird.
really good though. There were some fights, but they're doing a good job. And I mean, they took years to make it. But I will say yes, as they're bringing more and more DC characters that everyone knows into it, right? Instead of just Dr. Manhattan. It feels odd at times, even though you're excited to see them.
Well,
But it
Rorschach is
fits.
my favorite. So good.
So something I think I want to explain about how this fits, though, is so what happened in 2011, Barry Allen Flash unintentionally rebooted the DC universe. That's how the New 52 happened. Like, that era of DC was from an incident, okay? So when that happened, these guys teamed up and they started with DC. Oh, wait a minute. That's wrong.
Yeah, this is like
Yeah, New
this is where I
52.
get lost
And
and,
then in
confused.
2016, Rebirth, which was another, and this
Right.
is one of the things that got me all wonky with my Harleys, because I was collecting the Harley and then the New 52 and the Rebirth, and I'm like, why are there so many? And the Nightwing, I was collecting Nightwing, and then they kept giving me the wrong ones because there were 3 universes going on simultaneously. But the Doomsday Clock is tying this together so that it is all resulting from one event that 2 events that these universes were split off, right? So the Flash screwed up and he broke the universe, and then it was rebooted in the New 52, and then Rebirth happened because Dr. Manhattan, because he's omnipotent, and he was from Watchmen, right? So he was actually behind the rewriting of the universe after the reset. Okay, so this all actually fits into the original Watchmen universe, in DC.
I'm just gonna say this. I hate time travel as a
Yeah.
the Pilot X
It's
did it
not
well,
time travel.
but it's rewriting universes and it's sort of time travel, and I'm just like, nah. I don't like it.
So, I just get confused.
So yeah, I mean, there's time stream stuff and parallel universe stuff, but
Yeah.
they are the portrayals they're using the characters. Even though like in the issue I'm on now, it's like, holy shit, really? It's like they put all of a sudden everyone from DC is in it, and it's really, really high profile, like Batman and Joker and Penguin and Riddler and all in one issue, and I'm like, calm down.
Slow your roll.
But the versions of the characters they're using, I kind of love, and I am buying into that nostalgia.
Okay.
There's a drawing of the Riddler in this that looks like Riddler from the Adam West TV show.
So
Batman.
this is
And I
okay.
kind of love that.
I can respect that. I mean, I respect it. It's what you like anyway. So I totally respect it. I just get so freaking confused in the DC world because I started trying to read some of the Rebirth stuff, and then I was like, wait a minute, is this the wrong stuff? Where do I go? And then I
Rebirth is what the hell?
well, I read
What's
Kicked in the
going on?
Teeth, right? Which is the Suicide Squad starting book. I reread that because I remembered it from when I was younger and really liking it. And then I'm like, okay, wait, this is a completely different Harley than the Harley. And
that was all kind of much, because unless you're reading everything in the DC universe, you don't realize it's 3 different lines, and then all of a sudden your comics aren't in a line, right? if your store isn't really on it. And even then you're like, okay, oh, another new, Nightwing, and you pick it up and you're like, this is a different Nightwing, what the hell? But this is kind of actually bringing a lot of that stuff together. And they explain, because we know Rorschach is dead, but they have a really good new backstory with the new Rorschach being the son of Rorschach's shrink, who's dead. So it's a really good backstory.
Interesting. All right. Well, now I'm hooked. Now I will go. I'm in now, because I can't. Now I'm interested in how they handle that, because it's
interesting, and the art is just holy crap, stellar, fantastic stuff.
Awesome. Well, good.
I'm a little bit of a nerd about.
Well, I'm glad, and I'm really glad that you're getting back into getting more regular with your comic reading. So it's cool.
Yeah, not just throwing that money away. Putting it in boxes in plastic. Like, that's so not my personality. I got to this many comics and I'm like, I have a whole box that's not read. This is not, I have to either quit collecting or read them. I am not going to be this person.
There you go.
Yay. Doomsday.
Awesome. I dig it.
I guess make a list if there's any, I think I want to say they're from the 80s and 90s. We just randomly inherited some from a distant relative that passed away, so we'll look through them if you're looking for any from that time period. I know that was that's considered when there was a lot of comics, they're not worth a lot, but if there's some in there that you want to read.
Yeah, those long boxes that Connor got from his ex's mom that I couldn't sell most of, that I still have. But anything from Vertigo, I'm on board. I know I've got Shade the Changing Man stuff I need to fill in.
Cool.
Yeah. I shall write that down.
Project Find More Comics for Ember to read. I dig it. Gosh, so my week has been some real nerding. No, I'm in my second to last week of I was in my second to last week of the statistics class, and I'm in a graduate program, so it's really shitty and hard and gross and dumb math, and I hate it. So that unfortunately took up quite a bit of my time this week. Also helping going with the man friend while he has to buy a car because his car died, and then going through the so it was a really busy week with that kind of life stuff. But I have been while working and delivering and running around like a maniac, I did actually get caught up with America's Next Top Podcaster myself. I went back and I was listening through all of them. I didn't the second to last one isn't out, so I did have to spoil on who the last two are so that I could listen to the final entries and vote on them, because I also did the Kickstarter. But I still think it's really cool. So we're going to actually just plug in next week. We're actually going to have someone who is on America's Next Top Podcaster on the show next week. So Monica, I was listening to the intros and I was like, I want to have her on my show. I want her to be on our show. I want her to come on immediately. Something about her voice has really resonated for me. So we're going to have her on next week. There's some plans to have possibly some others. Alex, who is on America's Next Top Podcaster, is also one of the people in my Overpants group, but I'm also on the team with Brian Ibbett too. So it's going to be an interesting Overwatch tournament in Vegas.
And I ran into Gidget in the TMS chat this morning.
Right, and she's going to come on too.
She was talking about wanting to start a sex show.
Yeah, she was wanting to start God, okay. So yeah, TMS, if you're not listening to the morning stream, do it. Also hang out live. It's always more fun live. I this morning was the first time in like a million years I've been able to actually catch a live TMS, and I had forgotten how much fun it is to hang out with all the weirdos in that chat room. There are definitely some weirdos. Pathfinder, we did actually wrap up that giant chapter of our campaign. We have the off campaign coming up this weekend, but so that basically we went through this big transition, and it was like 10 years before the next part of the story. So we had to figure out like administratively like what the hell our characters were gonna do for 10 years, and I was like, so my character got called a fat child because it's a dwarf a few times by this stupid NPC that called her that, and it just became really funny. And it's become this big joke where it's like, I'm not going to have the conversation. Well, no, we're not going to let the fat child have that conversation. So when I was like, of course, my character that is an alcoholic and vainglorious it needs to have a tavern in this new city that we've established and are the council members of. So what do you name this tavern? And one of my compatriots was like, how about the something, oh shit, the Portly Pratt. Sorry, the Portly Pratt. That's what it is. I almost forgot it. Yeah. And I'm like,
Right
okay,
on.
that's delightful. That actually sounds like it would be a tavern name, and I'm super okay with it. It's so dumb. It's such a oh, it's so fun. Our Pathfinder game is fun. I've been really enjoying it. I am playing WoW again. Oh my god!
Ooh.
Considering that I've had my subscription active, it's nice to kind of jump in again. I will be honest though. There was some times last night where I jumped in and I was like, I don't know where I am in the world. I don't know how to get to where I'm going. I don't know where anything is anymore. Why isn't the portal where the portal used to be? Why is that city not where that city used to be? Why is there an
Imagine you're like a vampire that's been asleep for like a century, and you wake up
Right.
and you're like, what the hell is this?
That's exactly right. Because I'm like, where is the actual world has significantly changed since the last time I was playing it. No, because I jumped in and I leveled a character in the new expansion, but that's all I did. I didn't really like go and explore much, and I didn't really play a lot through Legion. So all this craziness. So I made a demon hunter, and I was like playing that, which is super fun. But yeah, no, it's a little overwhelming when you first get back in, and you haven't been there in a while. It's really, really crazy. Also, I had the weirdest realization and about how beautiful that game is, because I finally have a monitor that's worthy of my graphics card. So it was my first time. It's been my first time playing WoW. Granted, I've been using ultra settings
Oh my
ever
gosh!
since I got my new
would
computer.
Like to go right back to Pandaria.
Well, right.
in that
So,
instance.
well, that's so funny you should say that. So I have a monitor now that actually can display at that quality. So it was my first time really doing it, and I didn't do it on purpose. I was just running around, and I was like flying into an area because I had to go find where Dalaran is now so that I could start that quest chain. Because you gotta go find where the city is, right? Because cities move around all the time, and that's just how it works in World of Warcraft. You gotta go find this fucking city that is not where it used to be. But I fly into the area, and it was just like the fucking trees, and I felt like I was like in the Soaring Over America ride at fucking Disneyland. Like it was crazy. Like, and then I was coming in, and as I'm like landing right on Flying Mount, I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking cinematic. It's ridiculous. And I'm like just playing the game. And then as I'm getting closer, I realized that I could hear these ambient sounds of this forest that I was in with like the crickets and everything else, and how the audio was adjusting at the actual appropriate amount for where I would be in, like, as far as distance, and when I got into like the heart of it. And I was like, you know, sometimes I don't really appreciate how much goes into fucking video games sometimes to like create an actual fucking environment that felt like I was in a fucking forest. Anyway, it was a weird moment where I just thought about where WoW started, you know, nearly 15 years
Yeah.
ago, and then like, holy
Yeah,
crap.
go fly over an old area where the tops of the trees are all like flat plains.
Right. Well, and I would, man, and so then after that, I was like, oh my god, I need to go places. So then I went to some of my favorite places. I went to Pandaria, and I flew around all the pretty places in Pandaria, and yeah, I went all over the place because yeah, I was feeling it. I was like, I'm gonna go check shit out. Completely waste of my time, but it was fun. So yeah, kind of weird to be back into WoW, but I'm glad, and I'm gonna keep doing a little bit here and there, just to kind of dabble, and hopefully the man friend will have a computer soon so that he can play, because I know he misses it too. So we'll get there. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So fairly geeky week, considering how busy I was with the homework. But that brings us to the Geek Grapevine.
Cruise Team, assemble!
Geek Grills Grapevine.
So this was
Alright.
interesting.
Yeah, this one's real
yeah.
interesting.
I put the CNN article in our links, although the first one I came across had some different takes on it. It was way too like clickbaity. But I will mention some things that were funny. But in this article, so Joe Cameron, a 71-year-old.
Yeah.
I love websites that have autoplay videos. It's my favorite. I apologize, Ember. Please continue.
Yeah. So Joe Cameron, a 71-year-old Scottish woman, has never needed to take painkillers after seeing the dentist and can eat a Scotch bonnet without any discomfort. And they didn't know until she needed like a hip replacement that she's actually just genetically predisposed to feel very little pain. I mean, not no
Weird.
pain, because that's leprosy, right? At that
Yeah.
point, no one wants that. But yeah, so they are taking the opportunity to dive in, do some research to try and treat not only post-operative pain, but anxiety, because the same gene trait is apparently linked to anxiety, which I find really interesting as far as how pain centers work. So yeah, they've only ever found a handful of these people. And I mean, as far as this whole opioid crisis and how people get on it, it would be amazing if we could have genetic treatments, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it also could accelerate wound healing.
Oh, we could learn a lot too, just being able to identify that genetic mutation and just working with it alone. That information could be so valuable in the medical
Yeah.
field.
But what a weird life.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, 'cause
super weird.
it's so little pain that like there have been times she's like burned herself and didn't know until she smelled it.
Oh my god, that's
Ugh.
crazy.
And she, in the other article I was
See,
reading,
that's where it's
she-
dangerous, but it is really interesting.
It's true.
and she gave birth. And she has always told people, she's always told her friends, like, oh, it's not as bad as they say it is.
For you.
Yeah, I guess for you it's not as bad as they say it is, but for the rest of the planet, on the other hand,
Can you
it's
imagine,
horrendous.
Like being a woman, and her whole life she thought all those other women were just being babies or exaggerating or what? That's crazy. No, they're just screaming and sweating and need epidurals for no reason. Like, maybe it should have clued you in that something was up with you.
Right?
By that point, you should have been like, maybe it me. Maybe it me.
Yeah, maybe the smelling your burnt finger before feeling it could have clued you in.
Oh
But
yeah.
no, took surgery, but they're onto it now, and this could come with some really great breakthroughs. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that's really neat. I'm glad you included this article because I read it too, and I don't even know why I didn't think to grab it for the show, because I also was like, that's crazy when I read it. So the next link is Jen's Nostalgia Fest moment. So back in the day, I went to a big LARP event where CCP, who also did EVE Online, who had the ownership of the vampire books and took it over, was like, oh, we have an announcement we're going to do. Come to this giant LARP event. Your org is invited. So there's 3 organizations. The 2 orgs went there, and I got to go to New Orleans. So it was great. I had a great time. I drank a lot. It was fun. But they were like, they announced the MMO that they were going to do, the vampire MMO, the World of Darkness MMO, excuse me. So, of course, we all went nuts. We're like, yes, please, all of this now. And they were talking about, like, different aspects of gameplay and blah, 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 blah. Well, that's what we were super excited about. And then CCP let go of the World of Darkness and shit went sideways. And I was like, cool, that was a cool thing that's never going to happen now. And that's sad. And then last week, I somehow had no idea about this until, well, I guess so there's a trailer now for it. It's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So I don't know, some people who may not be familiar with the LARPing world or the role-playing world of World of Darkness, but they may have played Vampire the Masquerade. A lot of people remember playing that game. And it was a really good game, but absolutely, I'm surprised. I actually played through it again not too that long ago, and was a little impressed by the fact that it was still fun. But of course, now with where graphics are now compared to where they were, this is gonna be crazy. So I'm super fucking stoked about this for sure.
So my friend, like, heard he may have just been like a funny story. It may not be true, but apparently the guy that they gave the project to is a giant nerd, but they just gave him the folder or whatever that was like had the code name on it, and he starts like flipping through it, and he's like, "Oh my god, it's Bloodlines!" So like they didn't even tell him what it was. Just the guy that started working on it was just handed something, and he like figured it out as he was reading through it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm really I'm excited for this. I don't know. It's just it's such an interesting world. It's an interesting world to role play in, and I want more of it in video games too because yeah, I don't know. It's just a cool world. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be really good. Because in particular, it's being done by Paradox, so I feel super good about that too. Like, if there's anybody that you're going to trust with that story and actually making it compelling, Paradox is one of the better ones to be taken on the project. So, yeah, I was super stoked. Yay, video games coming.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh my gosh. Is this, I have a,
It's a spell.
I found you a spill.
okay. Sorry. We had for our audio listeners, I just had to remove the cat from my leg and put it behind me. And he's a heavy boy. Yeah, so let's take a look at this ye old Roadspiel. Oh my god.
Ah,
What
oh
is with
no.
autoplay videos, people? You are monsters on the in the universe. Okay. Portion of Pennsylvania Turnpike reopens after trailer crash spills dish soap on road. Oh. And that's like hard to clean up too. Oh man.
It's slimy and yeah.
Ugh. A portion of the Pennsylvania Turnpike has reopened after a crash involving a tractor trailer left a soapy mess on the highway. The crash happened on the eastbound lanes of the Turnpike. Oh my god. And at least it was like in the early morning. So it wasn't too awful. It was closed for more than 3 hours though, which is crazy. And then, oh my god, these are crazy. I like reading the. Oh my gosh.
Do we have
Terrible
it?
puns or anything.
I was gonna say.
I
are
know.
there
I
any
was looking
terrible
for
puns?
good puns. I'm disappointed. I feel like they've made a real mess of this article by not having good puns about it.
But unching.
But I know. That's the only thing that they had in there that was kind of a pun. All right. Well, that newspaper's washed up. Haha. Okay. So.
You don't need
I'm looking for a
puns.
slippery slope one. In
Yeah,
here.
no,
You
that's
make
Jen
fun.
going down a slippery slope right now. You're right. Oh man. Yeah, that's a good one though. I that has got to be disgusting. Like I can't even I feel like slimy and weird. Like just all
How-
oozing
how
across
do
the
you
highway.
even do you bring like fire trucks?
And
How
just
do
hose?
you just hose down the highway?
Yeah, like
The asphalt will be clean.
yeah, it's gonna be real clean in that area for real. Yeah, I don't even know how you clean that up because I feel like you just siphon it away, right?
I wonder if it was dawn. It'd be like the exact opposite of an oil spill.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's true. That's what I was thinking about too when I first started reading it was they use soap when they're, to help deal with some of those things. I don't know. It's crazy. All right. Weird news is weird today. So today, our discussion topic is, it's a conversation that's come up, with all three of us before, and we've kind of hinted at it, or it's come up in conversation time and time again. So, with the fact that we all grew up nerdy, geeky people with nerdy, geeky hobbies, and being judged for that, we're going to talk about whether or not we're in a world where, is geek still geeky? Is this the new normal? Are we, have we reached a point now where it's not a point of, I don't know, I don't want to call it like,
Let's start off with a definition, shall we?
yes, I like
I-
definitions.
I pulled up the dictionary.com. So, a geek, and as a noun, 1, an unfashionable or socially inept person.
Yeah.
With a bullet point, a knowledgeable and obsessive enthusiast. 2, in the U.S., a performer at a carnival or circus whose show consists of bizarre or grotesque acts. And then verb-wise, engage in or discuss computer-related tasks obsessively or with great attention to technical detail, aka to geek out. Or be or become extremely excited or enthusiastic about a subject, typically one of specialist or minority interest.
So, interesting.
Yeah. And so that's what I think. I mean, we're walking a fine line because there are so many things that were once the realm of nerds and geeks and, that are now just everyday pop culture. Tons of exposure.
Superheroes, yeah.
I mean, comic book movies are the best performing movies that we have now. Movies that are about characters that came from something that used to get you shoved in a locker is now something that is making the most money.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's like,
and
big time celebrities that say, "Oh, I'm a nerd," and it's thrown around this and I mean that's fine. I don't want. That's where I'm worried about walking the line. We're not gatekeeping here, right? Nobody wants that shit, but it is easy to get like a little bent about. Damn it, like.
Is it like
it's not our secret code anymore?
I was actually. Oh, go ahead.
This article that I found while looking at this, and I was brought up by these memes like, I don't recognize geek culture anymore. Like now you go into this comic book store and it's all these whatever, and it was like this gatekeeper mentality, and I was like, well, I don't want to approach it that way, but I get it. So this article by Patton Oswalt that was in Wired magazine in back in 2010, but it's really fantastic. It's called "Wake Up, Geek Culture, Time to Die." And this one, for me, he's my age, hits on, holy shit, like specific stuff. Like, I think he's really great to begin with. I like him even more now. There are like tiny specific fandoms and behaviors that I recognize from back when, in the early mid 80s, that we would be in school using Monty Python lines in common parlance, and or to secretly say stuff to people, or Blade Runner bits, or stuff that I don't know. I'm trying to think of a better. I know Watchmen was, and that's why I brought up Watchmen today. I wanted to pick for my comic the sequel of Doomsday Clock, because Watchmen was one of those turning points where it was really cool, like the smiley face with the bullet hole button. All of a sudden, it was just cool, right? And so kids, like varsity football kids, would be like wearing this pin because it was cool, and they wouldn't even know what it was. And it was kind of like, no, this is my weird little space. You don't know what that is. You like beat my friends up, right? And so as much as it's great, people appreciate this stuff now, I understand it once being it was our own version of street cred, right?
Yeah. Well, I was actually thinking about, like, a lot of people point to the superhero movies as, the big, especially the ones in the aughts, of that's when, geek culture has stopped kind of being sidelined. It's now kind of mainstream. I would actually argue that it really kind of started with Harry Potter.
I don't know if it started with Harry Potter, but I think Twilight and Harry Potter were both things that motivated that. The interest in supernatural stories and whatnot. How many of us were reading sci-fi and fantasy stories, and that was like a nerdy thing to do? Like, you're just reading those kind of books, and then now they're making movies like that.
I also think really, really good TV series helped with that, like Supernatural.
Supernatural's, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the one that vampire porn? What's it called? I always forget. True Blood. Sorry.
True Blood.
Sorry.
Well, I think there's another aspect in this article. It is long, but it's worth reading. That Pat Oswalt points out about the age of media and the way things have changed, right? Because now you can absorb everything in a day. You can go, oh, that looks cool, and go look it up and learn the history and everybody else's take on it and become an expert on, pre-Sandman gaming in a day. And while we used to have to wait for our next issue, right, of anything. And there's not that line anymore of this is, you go to your local store or, you're playing D&D or you're waiting for the next issue of things. Everything is mass consumed now.
Well, yeah, it's instant gratification. I can go and I can watch an entire series on Netflix in a day. Like I have a day off. I could literally just watch everything that's there. And it's consumable. You're absolutely right. I think, so the second part, do you still have your definition up, Linda? The second part of the geek definition is like, that's what I've always attributed to geeky is what is it, obsession with or knowledge about a specific topic or something like that?
Let me.
I in particular, the reason that stood out to me is because what was interesting is that
Knowledgeable and obsessive enthusiast.
there we go. See, that is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that, and you can be that about whatever, which is why we've always said you can be geeky about whatever your geekery is, whatever it is that excites you, that you get enthusiastic about. And
let me dive deep into this. This has origin words. Hold on.
Now I'm actually curious.
From Germanic to English, gek, which it was fool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And from Dutch, G-E-K, I guess geek, mad or silly.
Yeah, that's appropriate too. So I think
again the article, the Pat Oswalt article, he uses a word that to illustrate the same kind of point about defining it. It's a Japanese word, otaku.
Well, right, which is the otaku. The otaku is the excitement over.
Otaku.
It refers to people of obsessive, minute interests, which sounds very much like the the nerd definition, the geek definition, but especially like anime, video games. But it comes from a term that means someone else's house.
Interesting.
Because otaku live in their own enclosed worlds, and so that's a really interesting way he uses to separate these definitions.
So part of the reason that I came back to that definition is again, you could be geeky about whatever, but I think part of it was about finding your geekery, and the reason that you want, I feel like that desire to label other people as a geek or not or whatever has more to do with trying to find your tribe and your people in your community. It's not necessarily about who you want in. It's not about gatekeeping. It's more about like, like, did we just become best friends? Okay, cool. Like, like we're super into the same things. Like,
right?
Like that is what the value of it is. And again, for me, it's not gatekeeping, but there is that moment of like, oh, and I hate saying it, but I've caught myself say it time and time again where I was like, oh, it's a Call of Duty nerd or a Call of Duty gamer. I'll say it, which is, I don't mean to degrade people that play Call of Duty, but there is a certain type of people, or they're guys that were traditionally the ones that were very popular in high school or in college and play football or other sports and whatever, who also play these video games now, when video games used to be this world where it was like, you play video games? Like, what? Like, that was a really, like, a weird space. It was a weird hobby. Now it's become a very accepted hobby. I think almost every survey I've ever taken in the last 2 years asks which consoles you own in your home, and that's because everybody has one. Like, at least I shouldn't say that everybody, but just it's prolific now.
But there's a social connotation to the word, and part of the discussion, I think, should involve that too. I mean, if we look at where they came from, like geek and nerd, and that kind of isolation and that awkwardness. Well, that isn't necessarily part of that definition anymore at all.
No, but I think is interesting is going to the dictionary definition is it's about computers.
Right.
Like, it specifically mentions computers twice in this definition.
Yep, in the geek one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one they added later. That's when the whole, I remember that coming in to the dictionary, accepted definition, because there was like the difference between a nerd and a geek is a big argument.
Yeah, there's actually like books about it. Not only articles, but there's
I'm
books.
looking up.
It's like crazy.
Here's nerd. Okay. Definition of nerd. a foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Single-minded.
Oh, sorry.
Single-minded expert in a particular technical field.
Mm-hmm.
I have never used nerd as a synonym for boring.
Yeah. Well, that's because they were thinking about nerdy.
I'm gonna say
nerdy people were not necessarily boring, but they were not. They were tending to be more less extroverted, and so they would come off as more quiet and things like that. I think that's more of where that originates from.
It says
I remember when I was little, that was very much a thing.
It says contemptible. What even is this?
It's like, oh, what a nerd. What a square. Like in the 50s, it would have been square. In the 70s, it was nerd.
Yep.
It's that kind of connotation. And I remember it being used that way.
I definitely don't think it's used that way anymore now.
No, I don't think so.
Like, there are terms of endearment now. It's a positive term. People proudly. That's the funny thing about it is that like now
we
it's
use,
like a
asshole,
pride.
douchebag. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like I say it pridefully, and I call people who are shitty douchebags because that's like my favorite word for shitty people. I don't know why. It just feels good to say.
Oh, there was like a post like on Facebook where it was like, I see somebody that I really, really like and admire, and I want to tell them how much I like and admire them, and then, it's out loud. I say, "Hello, nerd," or "Hey, nerd."
Yeah.
So it's like it's used as terms of endearment.
Well, there's this other article I posted, and all these will be in the notes from Mel Magazine. This guy has a very different, social take on how we are using nerd as, people are self-identifying. We're letting it refer to anyone who's smart, or it's a term of endearment. And then he draws this really interesting illustration to me. It's like a nerd is somebody who's so lost in their own idiosyncrasies they've forgotten how to communicate with the rest of us, which is why the late Stephen Hawking, though a brilliant astrophysicist, wasn't a nerd. He changed how we think of black holes, but he was prouder of appearing on The Simpsons and loved strip clubs. A true nerd would be Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's oddly compelled to ruin holidays with pedantic treats. So I don't even need. He put an example in there, but we've all seen his tweets, right? And he's so awkward.
Yeah.
It's adorable. I think it's adorable.
I think part of it too isn't that, and I really like that they pulled this out here too in this article too. They talk about this where it's not necessarily that it's become popular. It's just that there might have just been a lot of people that already like the stuff but just weren't necessarily willing to admit it or talk about it.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a lot of that. Whereas now comic book movies are there. How many people that are like, oh man, I used to read these when I was a kid, that that at that time they never would have told people that they read those comic books because they would get their ass handed to them. Like I have friends in the Midwest that get their shit. I
think things like Harry Potter that you guys pointed out, think was a surge in geek culture. I think that's where that kind of thing came into play. Because the whole genre became more acceptable. It was excellent timing for the, oh my God, if you play D&D, like the whole demon scare stuff wasn't going on anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't a satanic thing to have a D&D book.
Right. And so these massively popular, oh my gosh, kids are actually reading. I mean, you had your occasional satanic about it, but it would never surge to the level of popularity of these books. And then that whole fantasy becoming accepted and Lord of the Rings movies being made, stuff like that, I think brought a lot of people to the light as well as people into the light that were already.
Yeah, I think there's people that are joining in that are like, oh, this actually is kind of cool. And you're like, yeah, which is great. I'm the more the merrier. If you want to come hang out and do the nerdy stuff that I want to do, rock on. I don't care.
But we still definitely have some of our own space.
Yeah.
I think it's and I think that's good. In a way, I mean, we do, I think, always have to be careful not to gatekeep and to go ahead and encourage people and have really good discussions about these things. But including people can be really important. There's a Magicians episode not long ago that it was like one of the best things I've ever seen on TV. I fucking lost it.
Careful with spoilers. I just started it. I just started it again. So careful. Just tread lightly.
Well,
Shit.
What happens is it's subtitled.
Okay.
So like they're having a discussion, right? And it's in English.
Oh, and
But
then
they
they're
just
explaining
talk
the
in
stuff.
tropes and memes
Yeah.
and characters from Game of Thrones and characters from Harry Potter, characters from and they're comparing this person to that person. And there's a reason they're doing it, like because they think they're being spied on, so they start talking in code from like nerd shit they know from a different
Right.
realm, and they understand what they're talking about. And I understood most of what they were talking about because I got most of the references.
Yeah.
But they subtitled it to actually as if they were saying it in context to the show and the plot.
So
if you weren't
as if
into
they
all
were
that
speaking in
other
a different
shit-
language.
Yeah.
If you weren't into all that other nerd shit, you would be able to tell what they were talking about. And it made me so freaking overjoyed, like how much I got. And to me, I was like, oh my God, this is what it's like when me and Rob and Bruce, our DM, and Tall Thomas are standing outside Delaney's drunk talking about whatever DC rabbit hole or D&D thing we're in, and people walk up and they think, this looks like a great conversation, and then they stand there dumbfounded for a little bit. I'm like, I need these subtitles in my life. Like,
No, I think I think that there's like camaraderie there. I think is where a lot of that comes from. It's safety. Again, I think I sometimes I hate that phrase because it's got so many different meanings. But the finding your tribe, finding your community, having a community in general. Humans are gregarious creatures. We like to have friends. We like to be a part of communities. And I think geekdom and nerddom has always been a way to easily access, or to most easily access, your community. Oh, you like that too? I like that too. Great. And I think, that used to happen with other things, right? You get guys who are all into the same sports team. They get together every Sunday and watch the game, right?
do you think maybe that's it? Maybe that's exactly what we can do to prevent gatekeeping is don't let nerd culture do that. Just let it be the thing where someone might feel awkward asking you because you have, I've got my Harley Quinn person, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, I really like Suicide Squad. And I could roll my eyes and be like, yeah, you never read a comic with it. It would be stupid. And, like, it would be so hypocritical as a geek to, like, do that. Like, no, you're asking, come on in, let me help you. And I've had some really good experiences in the last few years with that happening. Sitting at a bar talking about nerds with my
Yeah.
nerd friends, and somebody comes over and they ask a question, and they end up sitting down, and we've met other people that play World of Warcraft that way.
Yeah. And
or
that they
wanted
don't talk
to,
about it,
and
which
then
is
they
funny.
tried it, right?
Yeah.
Podcasting is another one.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, what's that? Now people are like, oh, you podcast? I want to do that.
Everybody
Like,
has a podcast now.
like, stay open and have those discussions. Be the person we wanted those bullies to, like,
Yeah.
be. Like, if I was interested in getting into whatever club at school, why were you an asshole because I was a nerd? Let's not ever do that to other people.
Right?
Yeah.
Because now we're the ones that are cool.
It's funny you brought up the like finding people out in the world kind of ways. That I always laugh when I'm like wearing my like a Hufflepuff shirt or something, and somebody be like, "I'm a Hufflepuff dude." I'm like, "Yay, we're Hufflepuffs! Yay!"
Oh.
Love pride, love pride.
Yay! And then what's a Hufflepuff? But the one that cracked me up, and I had forgotten about this, but so the man friend and I were taking Anduin, the puppy that I adopted in December, Anduin, to puppy class. And of course, like this woman who runs the puppy class is a little older, and she was just like, "What is it? Anduin?" So for a long time, he was called Anduin because she would have a hard time saying it every time. But it was funny because he came over and he was like, "Hey, is that like," him and his wife were always there with their dog, their puppy, and their son, and he would kind of like come over and be like, "Hey, is that like a WoW reference? Is that like that?" And then like one time, like Tim's wearing like a more dots shirt, And it's like it says like more dots on one side, and then it says stop dots on the other, I think it is.
Oh,
And he comes
awesome.
over and he's like, man, I miss playing WoW. Oh wow, it's a WoW shirt. And like it's just so funny because you can tell he's like doesn't necessarily like his wife may not even know that like he played WoW at some point because it was kind of just like, hey.
Well, I've got this stuff with my hair now too because at least superheroes are more prominent now, and so people just automatically assume rogue.
Rogue. Yeah.
And like, oh, rogue. Oh, I like the rogue thing. Oh, the rogue. It's not rogue thing, but I, I don't like get all. It's hard to not get offended. I mean, because it's my hair and there is a character. So instead, I'm just like, thank you. Not rogue is actually inspired by another character. If you want to know about it.
Rogue's one of my
And I have
favorites, so
introduced
it's okay.
more people to the Malorian and the Belgariad in the last 2 years than I ever had in my life.
See, it's awesome. So at the end of the day, I think we can admit that these words definitely carry some different connotations now than they used to. And definitely inclusiveness over exclusiveness, absolutely. I think inclusiveness is it's so necessary, and I think it's easy to not realize that you're gatekeeping. So yeah, it's just that, staying open, and if other people are into the whatever, it's like cool. Let them come and be into it. Awesome. I like it. Gosh, it's a really interesting topic. I'm glad we finally got a chance to tackle that one.
We've hit on it in bits and pieces, but
yeah, absolutely.
I've seen a lot of stuff recently, so
yeah, no, I know, and I think it's a good time to have that conversation for sure. And remember to those of you listening, you can always chime in by emailing us at geekgrills@gmail.com. You can give us a ring at 508-474-5577. You can also tweet us at Geek Grills. And if you've got stories about geekdom, before and now and any of that, we'd love to hear it. And also you can tell us that we're weirdos. Whatever. That being said, Linda, what are you up to? What are you looking forward to here coming forward?
ATE, otherwise known as After the End, otherwise known as LARP.
Yay!
Yay! It's on Friday. I'm so excited. I get to go on a newbie mod.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
those are cool. Like that was my favorite part about when I did what's it called? The one I did the zombie boffer LARP that everybody does. Something. Anyway, when I went and did that, the newbie mod was like my favorite thing ever. It was so crazy cool and awesome. Yeah.
Yep, I'm so excited.
It's how you get introduced to the game, basically. For those that don't know what that means, it's if you're a new player or a new character or whatever, you have to get inserted into the story, and you don't just walk up to the field and all of a sudden you're there. The newbie mods are a module to help get you into the story in the world. For those of you that don't know.
So I have a sneaking suspicion that our newbie mod is going to be a rescue operation, but we'll see what happens.
Dystopia Rising. That is the name of the game. Before a bunch of people yell at me and tell me that I'm a dummy. Gosh, took me a minute. It's okay. Ember, what about you? What do you have coming up?
Well, tomorrow I'm hosting trivia again at Fourth Creek Brewing, and it's
Yay.
North Carolina Beer Month, so we're doing beer trivia.
Interesting.
And I'm supposed to have my questions by now, and I don't, but and then I had another thing happen. A friend of mine had tickets, and it's on her bucket list. She's never seen Kiss, and her friend she was going with can't go, and she contacted me, so
Holy shit.
I'm going to see Kiss.
Those tickets are ridiculous. Those tickets are like $600 at the cheapest because this is their for real actual last tour. By the way, this is like the 8th for real actual last tour, but
she said she managed like under, and I don't believe her, so I don't know what to do there. But
to be fair,
she's like,
I'm
whatever
talking
you can
about
give me.
No.
I mean, this is the PNC Arena in Raleigh, and she said like it was like only a couple $100 for both.
I was
going
to say
to
clarification. I'm talking about if you wanted to try to get a ticket now, they were like 150. Like there was more reasonably priced when you could get them, but they were selling out so fast and people were reselling them. So that was the hard part, is that you could get them at a reasonable price. I know she got it right away because it was on her bucket list, and so there's that. I went ahead and I booked us our hotel room. Yay!
And so, and hopefully I'll get to see my son while I'm there. And one of the best things is I went in my drawer and I dug it out, and I have lost enough weight that my Kiss Army t-shirt fits.
Oh my God. All right, Ember's going to have like a fucking nostalgia fest on Saturday. Cool. Dig it.
And the first time I saw them, I was 12.
Oh my God.
My mom was like, Kiss Army for life. Yeah, so.
That's really awesome. That's a really cool, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear about how it was.
I'm not going to wear the makeup. I am too old for that shit.
I am going to try to actually go see Us this weekend. Damn it. It's been so crazy. I just want to go see this damn movie. No, I want to go see a movie. This is my last week of this class, so hopefully if I can tear through my homework quickly enough, then I will have the ability to go see a movie, etc. And then I get to go back to the other half of the campaign, which is my halfling druid that is going to ride a cat. That's my goal. I have a kitty. I have a pet kitty druid. I have a druid with a pet kitty. And as soon as like I told the DM, I was like, yeah, I'm play halfling. Like, what class? I was like a druid. I was like, oh, like a beast form. I was like, no, I got a companion. And he's like, what? And I was like, like a tiger, or like a snow leopard, because we're like in the snowy area. And he's like, you want to ride the cat, don't you? And I'm like, fuck yes, I do. I made sure that this character is small enough that I can ride the shit out of. I can ride a kitty into battle. That sounds so fun. Sorry, I am so excited.
Yeah,
Cool.
in the campaign that I ran a while back, our halfling rogue rode a dog into battle. His name was Sir Barks-a-Lot.
See, I dig it. Oh, I'm so excited. It's so silly. Oh my goodness.
Now remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/Geek Grills on Tuesday evenings. Our next one will be on April 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah, that's 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you're in Arizona, you're in Pacific right now, in case you forgot. Not that I have forgotten that at all. Anytime recently. A million times. We just want to say that thank you so much for the subs and bits that we get on Twitch. But in addition to that, we are supported by our amazing patrons who are the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can actually become a patron, patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch. You have one sub. Give it away. Give it to us. And if you don't have monies to do, there are other things that you can do to help support our program too.
Like, you can leave us a review on any of your podcast catchers. Doing so, as Jen implied, is free. And that can help other people find our podcast because it helps our ranking, which is great. You can also join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and help us spread the word there.
Dig it. And where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can also listen to me talk about women in gaming on the Glitter Dice podcast. We just had one come out yesterday. It is a drinking episode. So
is that real or is that an April Fool's joke? You did actually put the episode out yesterday?
We did, but we recorded on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, wow.
So we literally are drinking on St. Patrick's Day for your enjoyment on the 1st of April.
Awesome.
You can also find me here on Twitch under the name True Noob. That's TRUN00B. And now that I'm not going to be running around my craft room in my undies, I'll start streaming again.
And if you catch Linda in her undies and she has forgotten and is streaming on Twitch, be nice enough to tweet us so we can help get Linda no longer walking around in her skivvies. Wow, that is my grandparents' term for skivvies. I haven't used that word in a long time.
I was like, wow, you just turned into like Scott Johnson.
Just turned into like an 85-year-old woman. Ember, where can everybody find you?
I can be found at 9 of 12. That's NINEOF12 on Twitter and Twitch. And you can hear me on the Heresy and Hearsay and Trust Your Cape podcasts.
I can be found at the Jen Says on Twitter, streaming on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/the Jen Plays. And everything I do is at thejensays.com because I own that domain. It is mine. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
Good game.
GG.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I gave the duck lip diamond today. I was feeling the duck lips today.
Duck lip diamond.
Hey, I put a link in the chat.
I just realized that that's going to be a fucking thing that Ember's going to cut out. The moment you repeated it, I'm like, fuck. Yes,
You have to see this cat and catacombs thing.
So my cat was scaling my leg with his claws while I was doing that for like 10 minutes. And I'm just like, you motherfucker, you need to stop because I can't move you. And then finally he got the claw like into a spot where it actually was tender. And I'm like, okay, now we're going to actually stop and move you. Like, I'm trying to not
You
jack
guys
up
see
the
the chat, or
program.
you want me to put that in the notes? You guys have to see it.
I see it there. Also, let's do.
Take a look at the gallery.
Where's our showbot? We gotta pick a title.
Let's see. We've got
We need these D&D figures.
the titles to choose from are "It's Become a Thing," Project Find More Comics, News Puns Are a Slippery Slope, Vampire Porn, and Oh Wow, It's a Wow shirt.
Okay. Oh wow, it's a WoW shirt. Kind of cracks me up and is appropriate for the episode, but
Yeah,
also
I think that's the most appropriate.
I do also like news puns. News puns are a slippery slope, though, for real. Also delightful, but I do think that "Oh wow, it's a WoW" shirt has got to be the right. Well done, Linda. That is definitely the. I feel.
You're the one that said it.
But I do feel I didn't even think about it. It was me that said it, but I think it's appropriate for the topic too, so that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's. Do you guys want to raid Night Attack or Curly?
I think Night Attack.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. I think they're still in pre-show. Yep, they're still in pre-show. Okay. So if you want to raid Night Attack, that would be super duper cool. And then I'm gonna stop my recording and stop the streaming, and then I'm gonna upload that crap to you. But I haven't done that yet. We're gonna raid first. Welcome to the jungle. Get some more. Why am I singing on the internet? This is what happens. This is how it happens. It just starts with this innocent just singing, and then all of a sudden, it's in a clip.
That shit.
It's in a clip, and it's getting played back to you when you're drunk and playing video games with your friends. Oh man. All right. Yeah, rock and roll. Let's go. Oh wow, it's